The internet is on fire right now, y'all. And this one hits different. Asian Doll just lit a match to the memory of King Von, and Durk ain't staying silent this time. Fans are in complete shock after Asian Doll popped out with a new tribute that has people screaming clout chase and disrespect on every platform from IG to TikTok. Now, let's be real. This isn't the first time she's spoken on Von. But this time, she took it too far. Allegedly rocking Von's old chain, posting cryptic captions like "Still Mine 4L," and even previewing an unreleased track claiming Von came to her in a dream. People are calling cap. And Lil Durk? He hit back with a message that got the whole rap world clutching their phones. Was it just a tribute? Or a jab at OTF? Is Asian Doll grieving or gaslighting? And is Durk finally done with the King Von name being used for clout? Stay tapped in, because we're about to break down every messy detail of this explosive new beef. The hidden messages, the IG sneak disses, and why fans are saying she's using Von's name for likes. Grab your snacks, turn your phone off. This one gets ugly. The drama kicked off out of nowhere, but once it hit the net, it spread like wildfire. Asian Doll pulled up on Instagram Live with a King Von tribute that had everybody talking. Dressed in all black, candles lit behind her, she was reading what she called a poem from the heart to Von. And at first, fans were feeling it. They were like, oh, okay, she's still holding it down for Von. But halfway through that live, things took a hard left. She started crying, talking about how she still feels Von in her dreams, how they had unfinished business, and how she regrets not being by his side that night in Atlanta. Fans were tuned in heavy, thousands watching in real time, sending heart emojis and pro rip Von. But then she said one line that turned the internet upside down. If it wasn't for the people around him, he'd still be here. Pause. That's where everything blew up. Within minutes, screenshots of her quote were all over X, formerly Twitter, the Shade Room, and say, cheese. Folks instantly started assuming she was taking shots at Lil Durk, who was Von's closest industry ally and arguably his biggest cosign. Suddenly, Asian Doll's tribute wasn't just about mourning. Now it was looking like a subliminal diss. And the fans? Man, they were ruthless. Comment sections flooded with people accusing her of being messy, attention-hungry, and stirring the pot years after Von's death. But it didn't stop there. Not even 24 hours later, Lil Durk posted a cryptic story on Instagram. No names, no tags, just a black background and the words, "Watch who's speaking on my brother." That was it. 6 words. But those 6 words, they shook the culture. Fans immediately connected the dots. Everybody was like, yo, that's clearly for Asian Doll. And the comment wars began. People were arguing back and forth. Some defending Asian, saying she's allowed to grieve however she wants. Others riding for Durk, saying he's tired of people exploiting Von's name for clout. Emotions ran high. What made it even crazier is that Asian didn't back down. Hours after Durk's post, she doubled down on her story, posting a photo of her and King Von back in 2020 with the caption, "Been there before the fame. This love was real. IDC, what none of y'all say." And boom, round 2 started. More fans chimed in, some saying Durk was being too sensitive. Others saying Asian needed to let go and stop dragging Von into the spotlight every few months just to trend. Then out of nowhere, T-Roy's cousin jumped into the mix. He hopped on live and started airing stuff out, saying Asian never even pulled up to the hospital the night Von died, saying she had no real connection to her block like that, and claiming she only came around when the cameras were on. Fans were in disbelief. This was someone from the inner circle talking now, not just random internet folks. It gave weight to what Durk might have been feeling. And if that wasn't enough, an old video resurfaced of Von himself from 2020, where he was low-key distancing himself from Asian during an interview. In the clip, he says, "I mess with her, but we not together. People just be saying anything." The timing of that clip going viral again. Wild. Like the internet was doing its own detective work, pulling receipts left and right to figure out what was real and what was just for show. Meanwhile, Durk's fans were going hard, pulling out old lyrics, old tweets, anything to show that Durk was the one who really held Von down. They were like, Durk put him on. Durk gave him the blueprint. Durk made sure Von's kids were straight. And with each viral comment, Asian's tribute started looking more and more performative to the public eye. But Asian wasn't backing down. She went live again, this time with tears in her eyes, saying, "Y'all always try to villainize me. I love that man for real. I ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody." and the way she broke down. You could tell she was hurting, but still, the comment section was split. Half the fans were like, she just grieving in her own way, and the other half? Nah, she just wants attention every time she falling off. And it wasn't just the fans. Other rappers started throwing subliminals too. One rapper from Atlanta, who had previously worked with both Von and Durk, tweeted, "Funny how people love you more once you gone." People assumed he was talking about Asian too. The streets were talking and the blogs were eating it up. And the blogs were eating it up. Then the next twist hit. Von's sister, Kayla B, liked a shady tweet that said, "Some folks need to stop speaking on him like they was there in the end." That tweet went viral fast. Fans started tagging Asian like crazy, asking her to respond, pushing her to clear the air. Kayla B's always been vocal about who she feels is genuine when it comes to her brother's name, so her liking that tweet, yeah, it added fuel to an already blazing fire. But even after all this, Asian decided to clap back one more time. She posted a throwback video of her and Von laughing in the studio, captioned, "Y'all can't erase our history. Long live Von forever." She was clearly trying to reclaim her spot in the narrative, trying to show she had a real connection, not just a social media one. Still, Durk remained silent. No more posts, no more stories, no lives, nothing. And that silence, it spoke louder than words. Fans started speculating. Was Durk planning a diss? Was he gonna air her out in a track? Was he just letting the streets talk for him? Some even believed Durk's next verse might include a line aimed straight at Asian. Others thought he was just trying to protect Von's legacy without adding more fuel to the chaos. But behind the scenes, things were getting heated. A source close to Durk, someone who allegedly works with OTF, claimed that Durk felt disrespected, not just by Asian's words, but by the fact that she went live instead of calling him directly. Like, if she really had love for Von and respected what Durk did for him, she should have reached out in private. Instead, she went public, knowing it would spark drama. And Durk, he don't move like that. He's been trying to stay out of mess, focus on his music, and raise his kids. So to see Von's name trending again for all the wrong reasons, it hit a nerve. And just when fans thought things couldn't get more intense, a clip leaked. A short, shaky phone video started making rounds online. In it, you see someone that looks like Lil Durk inside a studio, pacing back and forth, saying something about people using Von's name to get lit. The audio wasn't super clear, but fans were convinced it was Durk. They slowed it down, enhanced the sound, did all types of analysis, like it was an episode of CSI. The consensus? Durk is over it, and he might be ready to respond the way he knows best, through music. But just before he could drop anything, something unexpected happened. But just before he could drop anything, something unexpected happened. Asian Doll popped out at a local Atlanta club with somebody nobody saw coming. It wasn't just any random dude either. It was one of Lil Durk's old affiliates from Chicago, someone who had fallen out with the OTF camp over money issues, according to the streets. The moment a video of them standing together dropped on socials, the internet exploded. Blogs went crazy. Captions read things like, "Asian Doll linked up with Von's old op." And the betrayal is real. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Some were saying she was spiraling. Others were saying she knew exactly what she was doing. And that this was chess, not checkers. The comments section was a war zone. People were posting snake emojis, accusing her of clout chasing, of trying to get back at Lil Durk, of crossing a line that shouldn't have been crossed. But then Asian clapped back in her stories again, writing, "I don't owe nobody loyalty but Von. You're weird." That only added more gasoline to the fire. And now Durk. Oh yeah, he saw that. Sources close to him said he was heated, like really heated. Word on the street was that Durk had been holding back out of respect for Von's memory, trying to keep things low and stay focused. But that move, her linking up with someone known to have had issues with OTF, that was a trigger. People in Durk's circle started tweeting cryptic messages like, "Cross the line now," and "Folks better chill before this gets serious far." Emotions ran high behind the scenes. People who were once mutual friends started unfollowing each other. Fans noticed Kayla B had unfollowed Asian Doll. A few OTF artists scrubbed old pics of her from their pages. The split was real now. This wasn't just drama for the blogs anymore. It was personal. And right when things couldn't get messier, another twist came flying in. A leaked DM thread started circulating, supposedly between Asian Doll and a fan who had sent her a message months ago. In the messages, Asian allegedly said she felt like Von's team froze her out after his death, and that they never wanted her around. She also allegedly said, "I carried his name longer than any of them." Whether those DMs were real or fake, the damage was done. Fans were already running with it. Some started saying this was all jealousy, that Asian felt sidelined while OTF moved on, dropped albums, and kept Von's legacy going through music and philanthropy. Others were saying Asian felt like she was the only one showing emotion, while Durk and his crew were cold and calculated. Either way, the line between mourning and manipulation was getting blurrier by the day. Then something crazy happened on TikTok. A content creator dropped a full timeline video called "The Real History of Asian Doll and King Von," and it went super viral. In just 12 hours, it hit over 1.2 million views. The video broke down their entire relationship, showing receipts, old clips, interviews, even deleted tweets. It painted the story as more complicated than fans knew. Like, yeah, they had love, but they also had problems. Cheating allegations, fallouts, and long gaps where they didn't even talk. The video even dug into times when Von publicly distanced himself from Asian, calling her too extra and saying he was focused on the music. So by the time fans finished watching that TikTok, some of them flipped sides. Comment sections were full of people saying, "Maybe Durk right to stay quiet," or "Asian really playing the victim too hard now." But Asian wasn't about to let the internet control the narrative. She hopped on Instagram Live again, now visibly angry, shouting, "I don't care what none of y'all think. I know what we had. Half y'all was fans after he died. I was there before the chains, before the fame." She pulled out her old phone, scrolling through pictures and voice notes of her and Von from 2019 and early 2020. You could feel the frustration through the screen. She was trying to prove something, to the fans, to OTF, and maybe even to herself. And that's when things turned even darker. Rumors started flying that Out of Security was keeping an eye on Asian's movements in Atlanta. Nothing confirmed, but the whispers were everywhere. People saying Durk didn't like how close she was getting to certain people, especially ones with bad blood in the city. Others said she was playing dangerous games, walking into clubs with people who had problems that go way deeper than music. Even Von's old producer, who rarely speaks on drama, tweeted, "Atlanta too small for all this fake love. Y'all gon' see real soon." Fans didn't know what he meant, but it sounded like a warning. Now, everyone was on edge. Then boom, Durk finally broke the silence again. He went live for just 5 minutes, but that was all it took. He didn't say no names, but his tone said it all. Standing in the studio, he looked straight at the camera and said, "One thing about me, I don't do internet beef. I don't do clout wars. I let my work speak. Folks know who they is. Von know what it was. Real ones know. That's all I must say." Then he turned the camera around, showing a whiteboard with album mode written across it. Fans immediately took that as a warning shot. Durk was gearing up to drop music, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. People started predicting he'd have a whole track aimed at Asian, maybe even name-dropping her directly. Others thought he'd keep it subtle, just like his past sneak dices. But then something totally unexpected happened. Asian Doll posted a now-deleted tweet that said, "If anything happens to me, just know who was behind it." Bro, the internet lost it. Within minutes, that tweet started trending. Fans were tagging the Shade Room, Spiritual Word, No Jumper, everybody. People were speculating all kinds of wild stuff. Was she scared for her life? Was it just for attention? Was there something happening behind the scenes we didn't know? There's something happening behind the scenes we didn't know. The tweet came down within 10 minutes. Gone. But the screenshots? They were already everywhere. That was the moment this situation crossed a whole new line. Now it wasn't just about clout or heartbreak or who loved Von the most. It started looking like real beef. People on X started saying maybe someone needed to step in. Others said this is what happens when internet drama mixes with street politics. Fans were now divided into full-on camps. The Team Durk hashtag was trending. People reposting his lyrics, his photos with Von, the old shows they did together. On the other side, on Asian Ways, they had started gaining steam, filled with emotional clips and throwback pics of her and Von being cute, laughing, dancing, just vibing. It felt like the culture was split right down the middle. Everyone had receipts, everyone had a theory, and no one could agree on who was in the right anymore. But just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, somebody unexpected jumped in. Von's cousin, who's stayed super quiet since 2020, went live on Facebook, and he did not hold back. He said Asian was using grief like a prop, and that if Von was here, he wouldn't co-sign none of this messy shat. He even hinted that Von had told people close to him that he didn't want his name being used after his death unless it was for positive reasons, like his kids, his foundation, or music. Now fans were in shock. This was family talking now. Not just the internet, not just blogs, but even with all that, Asian still refused to be silent. Her next move, even crazier. The very next day, Asian Doll shocked everyone by announcing she was releasing a tribute track called Letter to Von 2. Yep, a sequel to her original post-Von track from years ago. Fans were floored. Some were excited, saying they wanted to hear her side. Others were furious, accusing her of monetizing the drama. But the promo? Oh, she went full viral marketing on her Instagram. She posted a video of herself sitting on the edge of a bathtub, dressed in all black again, tears rolling down her face while snippets of the song played in the background. The caption? They can silence my lives, but they can't mute my heart. Long live Von. That post hit nearly 1 million views in less than 8 hours. The comments were lit. Some fans were saying, this finna go platinum out of pure pain, while others were begging her not to drop it. But she did anyway. And when that song dropped, bruh, chaos. The track was emotional, raw, but also messy. She didn't name drop Durk, but the lyrics, everyone knew who she was talking about. One line had the whole timeline gasping. You ain't even cry at the funeral, but now you the face of his legacy. Fans lost their minds. Within minutes, Nyon Letter to Von 2 was trending top 3 on X. The track started circulating on TikTok. Reaction videos were everywhere. People were crying. People were mad. People were confused. This wasn't just music anymore. This was reality TV on wax. And then Durk moved. He didn't say a word, but suddenly, fans noticed something strange on Spotify and Apple Music. Asian Doll's track got pulled down. Just hours after it dropped. Gone. No explanation. She immediately took to her story, writing, "They scared of my truth. I got my own team. I'd gaff about yours." Now fans were cooking up conspiracies. Some said OTF had it removed. Others said the distributors took it down because it violated policies. Asian went live again, this time full of fire, saying, "They trying to silence a black woman grieving. You're mad because I speak with emotion and not politics." It was clear now. This wasn't going to end anytime soon. But here's where it got dangerous. That same night, outside a club in Atlanta, a fight broke out. No confirmed names, but fans swore they saw members of Asian's entourage and OTF affiliates throwing hands. Blurry footage hit the blogs, bodies pushing, bottles flying, yelling. No arrests, but the video had one clear moment. A voice off camera yelling, "Stop playing with Von's name." That clip went viral instantly. And now the streets were fully involved. It wasn't just an online beef anymore. Now people were outside over this. And remember, Atlanta already has tension bubbling under the surface with other camps. Adding OTF and Asian's camp into the mix, it was a recipe for disaster. And guess who popped up next? Charleston White. Of course he did. He went live dragging everyone, saying, "Von wouldn't want none of y'all fools doing this in his name," and "Asian using grief like it's a mixtape rollout." Even though people don't always rock with Charleston, his words hit this time. Even some fans had to admit, this drama was starting to feel like a circus. And the fans, they were exhausted, but couldn't look away. Every tweet, every comment, every post was another piece of the puzzle. People started screen recording everything, just in case it got deleted. TikTokers made full timelines. YouTubers dropped exposés with titles like Asian Doll and Lil Durk's secret war over King Von, and did Von even love her back? The culture was fully locked in. But while fans were busy arguing, something else happened quietly in the background. A court filing. Yeah, you read that right. An entertainment lawyer posted on her page that someone, she didn't say who, filed a cease and desist over the use of King, Von's likeness and unreleased recordings. Fans immediately suspected it was Durk or Von's estate. Others thought it might be Asian, trying to block certain leaks that were supposedly about to drop. But either way, it was official now. Lawyers were involved. And when the lawyers step in, you know it's deeper than just beef. It's money, it's legacy, and it's control. Still, the internet wasn't done cooking. A fan account dropped a side-by-side comparison of Durk's tribute to Von and Asians. Durk's tribute came in the form of a full project, features for Von's kids, a mural in Chicago, and even donations to youth centers. Asian's side showed her crying on Live, the leaked song, and the public fallouts. The post's caption, "Love is loud, loyalty is quiet." It had over 100k likes in 3 hours. The tone was shifting. People were starting to question everything. Was Asian grieving or performing? Was Durk being cold or just protecting the brand? Was anyone really thinking about Von's kids and legacy at this point? But Asian wasn't done. She dropped a teaser for a YouTube vlog titled, "The Truth Y'all Don't Want to Hear." In the clip, she's sitting in a car, wiping tears, saying, "They tried to bury me, but I'm still here, and I'm done being quiet." She promised to drop voice recordings, text messages, and screenshots they don't want you all to see. Fans started counting down. Twitter fingers turned into popcorn munching. Everyone of the storm. But then, right before she could post it, boom, her Instagram was gone, deleted, vanished, poof. People panicked. Some thought she deactivated it herself. Others believed it was reported or suspended. Either way, she went radio silent. No lives, no stories, no tweets, nothing for 48 hours, and that silence creeped people out. Fans started wondering, was she okay? Was she getting threats? Did someone step in behind the scenes to shut this whole thing down? Even blogs started pulling back a bit. Nobody wanted to push too far now. It wasn't entertainment anymore. It felt like something real might be happening. And just when the dust was starting to settle, Durk reappeared. This time with a trailer. On his page, he posted a high-quality black and white teaser with dramatic music and the words, "The Voice Returns. October 5th, no other details." No features listed. But fans knew. They knew this was going to be the project where he finally speaks on everything. The timing was too perfect. Von's birthday was coming up. The beef with Asian was still fresh. And the culture was watching. Everybody started saying this was Durk's moment to either clear the air or burn bridges. Meanwhile, Asian Doll quietly reactivated her page. No new posts, no new lives, just one story slide that said, "They playing dirty, but I'm still standing." And that's where we're at now. Both camps locked in. Fans choosing sides, and Von's name still caught in the middle. And if you thought this was wild, what happened next? Nah, you ain't ready for it. The silence was eerie. Asian Doll was back on Instagram, but barely posting. Durk had dropped that trailer for his project, and fans were glued to their screens like it was the Super Bowl. Everyone was waiting for October 5th, waiting to hear if Durk was really about to expose Asian, or if he'd stay silent and let his numbers do the talking. But then, 2 days before the album dropped, it happened. A leaked verse surfaced online. Raw, unmixed, straight from a studio session. The title, no tributes. And the lyrics, straight venom. Again, no names mentioned. But the shade in the bars, undeniable. One line shook the internet to its core. "If you love me like you said, why you linking with the ops? All them tears on the gram, but you ain't cool mums." Fans immediately lost it. X blew up. TikTok creators were dissecting every single line. People were debating, was that about Asian Doll? Was he finally clapping back for real? Even the blogs ran with it. Rap Daily posted the snippet with the caption, "Did Durk just diss Asian Doll?" Say Cheese had a post up within minutes. Durk may be addressing recent drama with a former associate of King Von. And then Asian Doll fired back. This time, she didn't hold back. No cryptics, no hiding behind captions. She went live in full rap mode, voice shaking, yelling at the camera. "You ain't gonna play with me. I loved Von more than any of y'all. Y'all got your little cliques and crews, but I was there before the world knew his name. I sat with him through hell. Where was y'all then?" She started name-dropping. Not Durk, but others in Von's circle. Said they tried to ice her out after his death. Claimed she wasn't allowed at the mural unveiling. Said she was pushed out of the legacy because she wasn't industry enough. And then she said something that changed the whole narrative. "They don't want me around because I know what really happened that night." Hold up. What? Fans instantly flooded the comments. What do you mean? Say it with your chest. Who's they? Now everyone was looking at this differently. Was Asian sitting on information? Was she implying there was more to Von's death than we knew? And if so, why say that now? Conspiracy theories hit an all-time high. Reddit threads exploded. Some fans were posting old videos, body cam footage, autopsy reports, trying to piece together what Asian might have been hinting at. Others called her bluff, saying she was being manipulative. But either way, she had the culture in a chokehold. Once again, it wasn't about clout, it was about truth, or at least the perception of truth. But behind the scenes, things were not sweet. A source close to OTF allegedly told a blog that Durk's team was prepared to take legal action if she keeps insinuating foul play. Word was, Durk had had enough. This wasn't just internet talk anymore. Now it was looking like defamation, threats, accusations. And if Asian didn't chill, it could get ugly. But she didn't chill, she doubled down. The next morning she tweeted, "Don't play with me. Y'all know why y'all scared of me talking. I was there." She even started teasing a documentary on her YouTube channel titled His Truth versus Their Truth. Fans were eating it up. The premiere got scheduled. Trailer dropped, all black screen, her voice narrating. They tried to erase me from his life, but what they can't erase is what really happened behind those closed doors. The internet, on fire. Again. But then Durk's album dropped, and boom, he really spoke this time. Track 7, titled Legacy Over Love. The whole second verse, straight up surgical. And this time, no more subliminals. One bar made it clear. Stop posting old pics, girl. He ain't call you in months. Y'all broke up before the fame. Stop acting like it was us. Fans screamed. The receipts started flying. People pulled up Von's interview clips again. Others pulled up the timeline showing when Asian and Von officially split. OTF members started reposting Durk's lyrics, almost like they were celebrating the fact that the truth finally came out. The track hit #1 on Apple Music in 2 hours. Everyone was talking about it. Asian doll, ghosted, completely silent. Her YouTube doc didn't drop. No tweets, no stories, just silence. And in that silence, fans started turning. People who were once such a Team Asian were now questioning everything. Even some influencers who used to defend her went quiet. The vibe shifted heavy. Then, Von's mom broke her silence. She posted a message on Facebook saying, "My son was loved by many, but not everybody who screams his name has good intentions. I stay quiet out of respect. But some people just need to let him rest." And that was it. The final nail. The fans took it as confirmation. Confirmation that maybe Asian had taken things too far. That maybe, just maybe, this wasn't grief, it was control. Control over a narrative. Control over a legacy. And now, the family wasn't having it. Asian eventually reappeared, but it was different. The live wasn't fiery. It was quiet, somber. She said, "I ain't perfect. I loved him, how I knew how to love. If that wasn't enough, I'm sorry. But don't ever question my heart." And fans, they were split. Some respected her for being vulnerable. Others felt it was too little too late. But one thing was clear. This saga changed the way people viewed Von's legacy forever. Durk continued promoting his album. No more disses, no more subs, just music. Growth. Silence. And some say that's what Von would have wanted. Asian still posts throwbacks from time to time, but the energy ain't the same. The culture moved on, but the debate, the wounds, the sides people took, those still linger. This wasn't just drama. This was legacy warfare. And at the center of it all, a young king who never got to tell his own side. Man, what a roller coaster, right? From Asian Doll's emotional tributes to the fiery back and forth with Lil Durk, the fans caught every twist, turn, and drama-filled moment in this saga. We saw tears, accusations, leaked tracks, public rants, secret threats, and even a courtroom shadow looming over Von's legacy. The family got divided, the streets got heated, and the internet, well, it was completely hooked. The real question now is, will this feud destroy their careers for good? Can Lil Durk and Asian Doll ever find peace? Or is this just the beginning of a long, messy fallout? And what about King Von, caught in the middle? The one who should have been the center of the love and respect, not the controversy and chaos. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. Rap culture thrives on these moments.